Hey Fiber Arts class. This video is just going to be a brief overview of all the different accessories that come with your machine and how to use them. So you have a canvas bag that goes on top for just storage and kind of keeping it protected, that has pockets on the front and the back in which you should have found a couple of things. One of them is a manual. If you didn't get a paper manual in your machine kit, there is a PDF online on Canvas. This particular machine's manual is out of print, so the quality is not great, but it is useful in a pinch. And I also uploaded a PDF for the Bernina 1008, which is really similar. And the manual is just a little bit easier on the eyes, but this is still useful to have, so keep that close by. You should have had a foot pedal that's attached to a power cord with a plug like this. This is the part that goes into the machine, and then it's also attached to like a typical household outlet plug. The other thing that you would have had in your kit is an accessory bag. So this is what I want to sort of break down right now. So I'm going to turn you around. And your bag may not have had all of these exact things. It might have a little bit less, might have a little bit more. Some of them are essential and some are sort of supplementary. So mine came with a few sort of like maintenance things. Yours may not have. This is oil for cleaning out the gears. This is a lint brush, and this is actually a light bulb changer. So in case you're curious, if your light bulb ever goes out and you had a replacement for it, you would turn off your machine, just sort of pop it on there and then use it like a screwdriver. But my light bulb, as you can tell, is fine. So I'll just turn it back on, but that's what that's for. You should have also had a replacement set of needles, a universal style. May or may not have been the same brand, but these are good to have because you will occasionally break your needle or need to change it out for other reasons, such as you've been sewing for a million hours. My bag happened to have some loose needles, so just watch out for that. I'm going to hang on to them because they're obviously handy. Speaking of needles, you may or may not have a tiny screwdriver in your kit, which can be handy for changing out the needle, but you can also find screwdrivers like this in like a household eyeglass repair kit if you've got one of those. And I'm going to show you how to change out your needle right now, and it may be that you don't even really need this. You might be able to just unscrew it by hand depending on how tight this screw is, but let's say my needle broke while I was sewing. So I'm going to use this screwdriver to just loosen the screw. I'm not going to take it all the way out, just loosen it. And then this, I wonder if I can zoom in more. Wow. Okay. This needle will just pull right out, and then can be replaced with a fresh one. Notice that some of the needles that you'll have, most of them, here we go. Okay. It's got a flat side and a rounded side. The flat side is going to face the back of the machine when you reinsert it and then tighten that screw back up, which, like I said, can also be done by hand. Okay, that's changing the needle. Back to your other stuff. A seam ripper, handy to have for just when we make mistakes and need to pull out our stitches. A pair of scissors. And then you're going to have a variety of presser feet and bobbins. So the bobbins, you might have like several of them with a variety of colors on them, or maybe no thread at all on them, but they should all be the same class of bobbin. They should look exactly like this. So please do not use other bobbins that you have from machines at home, or if there just happens to be a bobbin that doesn't look exactly like these, avoid using it because it can mess up the machine. Look for the other video on how to wind a bobbin, which is an essential skill. These are presser feet, and so you saw on the machine that it is what holds down any material that you're sewing on. and there's different models for different kinds of stitches. The one that we're going to use most is this marked 0, which is our straight and our zigzag stitch. So here's our straight stitch, here's our zigzag stitch. This is a different kind of stitch which could be done with this foot. And just FYI, you can change your stitch decor, or the stitch style I should say, by pulling this lever up and down to these different numbers to match the numbers on here. We're gonna start with this down below at 1 and 2, 1 being straight stitch, 2 being zigzag. So other presser feet that your kit might have includes this number 3, which is a buttonhole stitch. Number 4 is a zipper stitch. Number 5 is a blind hem stitch, which might come in handy toward the end of our project. But these ones, we're really not going to use a whole lot. You're welcome to play around with them and experiment. But besides the straight stitch, the other one we're going to use quite a bit is this free motion foot, marked with a number 9 and with the open toe here. Sometimes it's called a darning foot. And I'm just going to show you right now how to replace it for when you're ready to experiment with that. So let me turn my machine around. Okay, nice. So the presser foot lever is on the back here, and you're going to raise and lower it whenever you take your fabric in and out, whatever you're sewing on, and you will also raise it when you're ready to change out the presser foot. And so on, okay, getting a little bit closer, there's this small latch right here that I'm just going to push back, and that allows me to take the presser foot just straight down and off of that cone there. And then I can swap it out for the free motion foot, plop that latch back on there. While we're here, I want to show you that this is called the shuttle plate, and these are called the feed dogs. And so when I turn the hand wheel, what you'll notice is that those feed dogs are going up and down and back and forth at the same time, sort of in a rotating motion. And that is the mechanism that allows for your fabric to go backwards when you are sewing on it. But when we're doing free motion, these will interfere with the process. So what we do is drop them. And so I'm gonna show you that real quick. Here's the knob. When we start sewing, I want you to always be on the zigzag and straight stitch, but as soon as you're ready to experiment and play around with free motion fit, or free motion sewing, you would switch this over here to this mesh. And so I'll show you what happens. I'm gonna, with my right hand, make that switch, but you'll see that those feed dogs are gonna drop below the shutter plate. Ta-da! Okay, so overview of accessories. Be sure to check out also the video about your machine and all the mechanics and how to set it up. That's a great place to start. Thanks.